Tiny. Come and play with us.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hello, this is Thorne Alexander, and I'm here with Kagan Cole and Matt Sleeman. Please say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
And the three of us are doing the Fountain of Horror Directors Podcast. What we're going to be doing with these podcasts is, with each one, we're going to be talking about the work of a particular director. And we're starting with the work of auteur, Rob Zombie. So, why don't we start? I know that Kagan and I both saw Lords of Salem today. So why don't we start by talking about that, and we'll sort of move our way through the catalog. Would you like to start?
I'm not sure. I thought, I really agreed with you earlier when you said that it was shot really beautifully, but I think it was just way too slow. I think that, and the ending, and I'm not going to say spoilers, I don't think, even though it's old, but I don't know, it was just not, it just didn't really do anything for me. I still like his stuff. I don't know. It's not gonna be the last movie of his I see, but I don't know.
Yeah, I really actually, I think I enjoyed it more than you, but yes, it was very slow, especially like the first 20 minutes. The biggest problem I had with it, I thought it was beautiful to look at.
A lot of familiar faces too.
Yeah, a lot of, and some interesting familiar faces. It was nice seeing Dee Wallace from like Cujo and
a lot of naked old
Howling.
ladies.
The main naked old lady was Meg Foster from They Live, and I'm praying to God that was a prosthesis.
She was in He-Man too, right?
Yeah, she played Evil Lynn.
Ooh, I have to see this movie now.
No. I hope that she's wearing some sort of makeup outfit, because that was just heinous. She was quite good though. I mean, I thought in all of her demonic glory, I thought she was pretty good.
She's creepy, yeah.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about Rob Zombie, that's what he's known for, right? The looks of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's always bringing in the old horror people.
Yeah.
Every movie is just littered with the old horror people.
Great use of music too. I will say
he does that also.
And I thought that was really well done. The biggest issue I had with it was the fact that the 90% of the movie contains a person who can't act, which is his wife. She's fine in smaller parts, but in this movie in particular, it was really important that we cared about the person this was happening to. And if you don't know the story of it, basically it's about a radio DJ in Salem, Massachusetts, who sort of weird thing starts happening to, and she falls into this sort of witch coven, that's lined up with the Salem witch trial, and these witches that were burned at the stake, and all sorts of weird stuff happens. And the ending, as Kagan mentioned, we don't want to spoil the ending, but she goes down a dark road in the movie, and the fact that you don't care about her makes what happens at the end really meaningless. Because you look at her and she's got the dead eyes, and she just, it's rough. It's rough. But I thought there was enough pretty stuff to look at that I actually enjoyed.
Well, I think he was going for more of a slow burn anyway, so the fact that it was a slower
Gotta give him credit for
climax,
that.
yeah.
For his kind of movies, you gotta give him credit for that.
I feel like a lot of it was kind of predictable, but yeah, you know what it kind of reminded me of was, did you see House of the Devil? All those wide shots.
Yeah, I thought that was a much better movie. But yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think that his use, there were some jump scares, which I thought were effective.
There's a weird, baby.
There's weird baby eating stuff.
So from being the person who has not seen this movie,
questions.
So knowing Rob Zombie, what he does, is there a lot of is there some psychedelic stuff in there?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely psychedelic stuff.
Yeah, she smoked some crack. Some psychedelic
you
stuff.
saying the lead character, or just characters in general, were not very sympathetic, or not?
She wasn't sympathetic because she's like a cardboard cutout.
Right. Well, you said not likable, right?
Well, it's not even that you disliked her. It's just you looked at her and she was just sort of like this body just saying lines. There was no.
She didn't even have a lot of lines, to be honest.
And there was no emotional connection. And I thought that actually the guys who played the other DJs, one of them was Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
Which I thought he was great. Meg Foster was good. Bruce Davidson, who's a character actor, has been around forever. He was really good.
So what I'm trying to say though is from his other movies, at least in my opinion, there's not many likable characters in those movies either.
No, but the important thing, and I think we'll see this when we go to Devil's Rejects, is that Bill oh god, what's his name? It just went out of my head. But the lead character in Devil's Rejects,
Mosley. Yeah.
Thank you. May not be likable.
He's enjoyable,
but he's fucking charismatic.
Right, he's enjoyable.
You want it, you know, he's doing these heinous things, but you can't take your eyes off him. And that is not the case with Cherry Moon Zombie.
No. So my other question now, being Rob Zombie, so with this movie, he had the not very likable character sometimes.
Yes.
You had the psychedelic trip sometimes. You had did it feel like other movies? Because like some of the Rob Zombies has like this was heavily borrowed from. This was heavily borrowed
I think
from.
one of the things he does is shoots it from the perspective of the bad guys.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like the tone, like how the devil in a House of a Thousand Corpse, very Texas Chainsaw-ish.
I think it was
Okay,
shot way different than that, though.
Right, but they all had their own kind of feel. Like they all had took things from other movies, where it's like, hey, I really enjoyed this movie, so I'm going to make my movie similar to that.
I think that, you know, this sort of ties back into sort of the witchy kind of Rosemary's Baby.
That's what I was getting at,
you know, the Wicker Man. It's those things where, you know, the Sentinel, those kind of movies. But it didn't feel derivative.
Okay.
It felt like he was clearly influenced by them. But I thought he brought enough of his style to it, and the use of music I thought was really well woven in.
Right.
And actually, you know, if it had had a lead actor who could carry it, I mean, the whole movie is her.
Right.
I mean, I can't think of any parts. I mean, she's in almost every frame of this movie, and she's very, you know, I mean, she's pretty to look at, but there's no emotional, like there's things that are happening to her in this movie, and there's reaction shots, and she's really not reacting. It's like, you know, like these like mutant, you know, stone-faced creatures, you know, walking goats, and she just she's just like takes a stick of her cigarette. It's like, oh God, you like, you know, but there's no like if you actually saw that, you would be freaked the fuck out.
Well, I think a lot of it was that she'd clearly gone through like rehab or was like an addict or something before, and she relapsed, but
they don't do anything with that, though, except for the crack.
Well, I think I think that they tried to like use it as like she's seen everything, so nothing kind of scares her anymore.
She's been through it all. Like
she's already been through hell, so she doesn't. I don't think she really cares what happens to her anymore.
Well, then why should I care about her?
Right.
Well,
that's kind of the zombie thing too. Is like I don't know dialogue. How's the dialogue in it? Is it realistic dialogue or is it?
Oh, I think so.
Is it?
Yeah. I had a big problem, and we'll talk about Devil's Reject. I really like Devil's Rejects, except for their scenes, like the chicken fucker scene and all that. There's scenes that are just thrown in where the dialogue is just terrible, and you're like...
For this one?
No, for Devil's Rejects. Okay. This I thought was pretty low-key, and I thought that it actually sounded like people talking to each other, except for, you know, when people are like, all hail Satan and all that stuff, which, you know, I thought it was fun. I thought the script was perfectly serviceable. Okay. But I just had a really hard time with the casting.
All right. So that like I said, my critique, like, I think out of the three of us, I'm probably the least Rob Zombie fan. I respect the guy. I like the guy because he's a horror fan. He's doing this because he loves horror. He's into it. But there's just something just missing for me. Like the looks of him, love it. Use of music, love it. Everything else, so I'm kind of done with. So like, just. Like you said, the dialogue, like it's so unbelievable how someone speaks in these movies. Do we want to move on to another movie since I haven't seen
one? I'll just say, and unless Kagan, you want to jump in with something?
No.
I will say, out of all of his movies, the dialogue in this felt the most natural.
Okay,
to me.
good. Right.
Except during like the radio scenes, like that was such a
the DJ, the radio program scenes were like, hey, this is, but you know, actually DJs sound like that in a lot of the country where they're like, hey everybody,
yeah, it was
drive time in the morning.
It was constant sound effects, yeah.
But there's a lot of radio DJs that are like that.
Too many.
You know, you listen to something like Howard Stern where
it's usually not
make
like
fun of it.
Yeah, but it's usually not like a metal station that does that.
This is true. And I did think I was a little concerned for the welfare of what's her name, the woman who plays Bruce Davidson's wife. She was from like Predator 2 and Maria Conchita Alonso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she hadn't seen her in a while. So, all right, what should we talk about next?
Halloween. That's
okay. So you seem to have pretty strong feelings. Why don't you jump off?
Huge.
Mr. Sleeman.
So I'm a huge fan of the original. like beyond. And the thing about the original was the unknowing of Michael Myers. You do not know Michael Myers. He's not even in the credits. He's not even called Michael Myers, right? He's called the Shape. The whole point of it is you do not know anything. He is evil, always evil, and only evil. He's just an average-looking man. He's, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", 185 pounds. He had an average family. He was just born evil. That was the whole point of the movie. Mm-hmm. They did not focus on him. The main story is about Laurie. And Rob Zombie comes in, do the retelling, I respect, but he completely changes everything about the story. The movie is Michael Myers. It is, this is why he is what he is. You're almost trying to feel sympathetic for him, which is not, to me, the point of Halloween. The Halloween is, it's the evil, it's the Shape. He's always in the background. That was great about Carpenter, is that you look and he's somewhere in the back. And the kills, not bloody, you think they are, but it's more left to the imagination. To me, horror is left to the imagination. We just saw that, you posted it the other day, or something on Facebook, like what's wrong with modern horror, is that they show too much.
Yeah.
Nothing's there for you. So I don't know if you want
to... It's interesting because I went in as also, it's my second favorite horror movie, the first Halloween.
Right.
And I didn't care for it, but I didn't go in, I didn't feel sort of sacrilege like a lot of people did.
Right.
Because he was in a bad situation with that, because if he tried to make the movie Carpenter made, people would have judged him for that. And then if he did his own thing, which is what he did, people judge him for that. So, but in the execution, no pun intended, I found that, once again, I didn't care for Laurie in the movie. I found her to be annoying.
Who played Laurie in this Halloween?
Oh, Taylor Scout or Scout?
Yeah, Scout Taylor, I think.
Scout
right?
Taylor, yeah.
Which she had, like, there was something about her that I liked. Like, there was really, I liked not the character, but she had a pretty good final girl Laurie kind of look to her. And she had that kind of look to it. But like you said, Zombie went the other way. Laurie Strode is the final girl. When you really think about what a true final girl is, that's Jamie Lee Curtis, right? So the very first scene that we see her, which is 45 minutes into the movie, she's talking to her step-parents, and she gets a bagel, and she, pardon the pun, finger fucks a bagel, and saying that's what she's going to do to her teacher or neighbor or something like that. And it completely just throws out that...
Yeah,
she's no longer
sweet innocent girl.
Yeah,
that's the part.
Yeah.
Of her friends and Jamie Lee Curtis's friends in the movie, but she was more that innocent, and that's why she survived, right?
Well,
that's that horror movie.
Yeah, I think that's Rob.
But
Rob
that's not.
Zombie
But
trying
that's
to do something different with.
But you say that, but all his characters talk like that, and everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like again, there's lines that stuck in my head. Like there was a part when Michael Myers in the beginning. I'm dominating this part. Sorry, but in the beginning, he's there. They're showing the family, right? And what's his name? William Forsythe, right? He's the dad or the stepdad or wherever he is, but he's got a leg injury or something like that. And her and Sherry Moon get into argument. He literally says something. I'm gonna crawl over there and skull fuck you. Like, I mean, it's just like everything is just like so just sexualized and so just like there's no way this family talks all this. Like,
I think he was going for shock value.
Right, and that's what I feel like Zombie does with everything. It's that shock value. Mm-hmm. And it's like you feel sorry for Michael Myers, but it's one of those, his mom's a stripper, dad's an abusive, sister's a whore, like everything's going wrong, Michael's not being, I mean, it's too on the nose. This is why he is who he is.
And that's a lot of the reason why I didn't like it.
Right.
What do you think, Kagan?
Of Halloween?
No, of the
Friday 13th remake.
ISIS. What do you think about ISIS?
Well, I think I definitely liked the first one more. So the issue that I had was with John Carpenter's was that like I wanted more backstory with Michael Myers, and I wanted to know more. And then with the remake, I felt like there was too much backstory, and I didn't need to know all that, and I didn't care to know all that. And I wanted things to be like, I don't know, it's just a demented person. Like I don't need to see like all the stuff that he went through. And
poor Danny Trejo. All he wanted to do, all he wanted to do was help.
I mean, he dies in everything he's in.
But he died so poorly in this.
Just because he got drowned in a TV slammed on his head.
Yeah. And, I think...
Double whammy.
Double whammy.
I think that instead of having the guy in the background, the guy who's in the shadows or in the sheets in the first Halloween, I think instead they went the route of having somebody who was a fucking monster. The guy is huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen him. Listen, we're tall guys. I'm 6'6".
Yeah, we're all totally tall guys.
No, you're not. You're like a fucking leprechaun. But no, but I'm quite tall. And no, it's I've stood up next to him, and the dude is
He's a monster.
A monster.
Yeah.
And I could see him being, the thing that made Michael Myers scary in the first one was the fact is not that he was physically imposing, but that he didn't stop.
Right. But
And-
being physically imposing, that
Right.
makes him that explains why he can't be stopped. And that's
Right.
what kind of got to me.
Yeah, and I thought, I mean, he was making his choices
Right.
in the movie. I don't think they all worked.
But to me, Halloween's everything that is Rob Zombie to me. It's the choices, the characters. There's not a likable character in that movie. Everybody in there is just, everything they do is just like a sin. Everything's a sin. You got the how did he escape? You remember how he escaped?
No.
You don't remember how he escaped? We had the two people working at the inside. They decide they're going to go rape a girl.
Oh, yeah.
But they decide to rape the girl in this 6'10" guy's monstrous locked up guy's room and have sex with her right there. Like,
yeah.
why would you choose that? Then you have that.
That's a great idea.
Then
yeah.
you introduce the guy you talked about again from Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Ken Foree.
Ken Foree, he's in there again, right? Awesome. He had that role of the truck driver. And immediately, first time you see him, he's yelling at someone and it's like, "Don't fuck with my truck, you little bastards!" And then he goes in there and he's reading porn on a toilet and gets brutalized, killed. Like everybody they introduce is just Loomis. Loomis is all about, I want to be known for this. Like in Halloween 2, he writes books and he's
Which
famous
is
because
another
of this.
huge departure than the first one.
Right, but there's not a likable character in his movies. That's
Actually, you
the
know what though?
problem.
I would say the sheriff. I think that.
But even he was kind of a douche because at first when he comes in, he's like, "Hey, this guy escaped from the asylum." He's coming back. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Your book's bullshit." It's like,
Well, but he was pretty much right. I mean, his book probably was.
right, but like, what? Why would I believe you that he's coming here? It's like, well, he just killed everybody at this asylum and he left. So like,
Yeah.
you might want to be a little worried.
Yeah, he was just small-minded.
I mean, he got like everybody, like the nurse. We didn't remember the nurse. She's over there talking to. She's in charge of watching Little Mike. She gets the newspaper, turns her back to her, to Mike, like with a fork. And he's just like, why would she do that? Like, I mean, everybody's just terrible. Everybody's a terrible person in these movies.
It's like he wants you to be okay with everybody.
Yeah, and yeah.
And it's hard because, like I said, in Devil's, and I think in House of a Thousand Corpses too, I think that there are people who are bad who are charismatic, so you
Yes.
want to watch them. That is not the case in Halloween.
No.
Or let's segue to Halloween 2, which I did not see, so I will surrender the floor. What was that?
He took it to like a different level of like demonic spirituality stuff,
Yes.
and there's like this.
There's a white horse. That's all you need to know.
There's a white horse, and Sherry Moon Zombie's in like this Lacey thing, and she's like a ghost
Come to me,
slash his
Michael.
mom thing, like telling him to do things, and like that doesn't happen at all in the original Halloween 2. It's just like
He
kill,
flips
kill.
over a car.
Yeah,
What?
He picked up a car and flipped it over.
Hulk smash. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. We have rage.
What's
Rage,
the, in both movies, because I remember the first one being pretty brutal, but what's the gore like in the second one?
The thing is, they're not gory. That's the thing, right? They're just brutal. Like he just beats the shit out of people. It's not like I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna do some clever kill to you. When he kills the guy in the restroom, he's just smashing him against
Yeah.
it. And then with the girl, he just the sheriff's daughter. He just
Yeah, I think that was Daniel Harris.
just beats the crap out of her. I mean, not like stabbing
She's
her.
a
like,
tiny thing,
Yes,
too.
she's like what 5'2", 5'1".
Yeah.
And again, 30-year-old playing an 18-year-old, but just getting just brutalized, nakedly brutalized, right? I mean, she just had, when they find her, she's still kind of alive with just cuts everywhere. It's just extreme violence.
Yeah.
Extreme violence.
I like the brutality of him though, because of the choice they made by going with somebody who is a physical presence, and that the fear that if he gets his hands on you is not that it's
You're
going to
done.
be quick, it's that it's going to be awful.
and
You know?
well, with these ones, it almost seems like he didn't care if you survived. He just wanted to beat the shit out of you, and if you happen to survive, you probably won't. But whatever, he's already moved on to the next person.
Right.
Yeah, beating the shit out of somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then
Yeah,
he
that sounds-
killed the parents too. Like they didn't do that in the original, right?
No.
I mean, he brutalized. Like he killed those two, and that, like, to me, that kind of got to me. That, which maybe that's what he was really getting for. But it's like, wow, that was extremely violent. How they killed the dad, and then went right and beat her too. It's like, to me, it's a little over the top. Like again, and you're saying like how he wanted to kind of do his own thing, which is fine. And I totally understand it. I respect that. But then he goes and he does some shot for shots from the movie too, though. Yeah. He has the part with the sheet and the glasses, and he stabs the guy in the door and leaves him there. And then if he is 6'10" and huge, how did that girl not know that was not her boyfriend? Wow, he grew a lot. He must really be aroused.
He's using it as a stilt.
Sorry, he has to duck through the doorway to come to you. I don't think that's my boyfriend.
I remember him being 6'9".
Yeah. Okay, I'm a prude. I'm married to my wife. My wife's a prude. So it's so sexualized. Everything's sexualized so badly. I mean, like...
Either that or you're focusing on that quite a bit. I don't know.
That's what I liked about it.
Well, I think it might have...
Maybe I'm guilty because I like it so much.
I think he's probably so desensitized to it from being a rock star for so long. Like, stuff that we see is like, whoa, that was really rapey, is probably stuff that he's seen on like a Tuesday.
Was something in it rapey?
No,
This is
maybe
Sunday
in
Night
like
Date Night for us. What are you
Devil's
talking about?
Rejects and like...
Because I couldn't...
Devil's Reject, the gun?
I couldn't stop masturbating to that movie.
Well,
That's great.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, hit her again. Right? Oh, and she took it in the face like a champ. No, I did not hear good things about the second one, so I kept my distance as not being a fan of the first. So, and now hearing this, I'm kind of glad that I did.
But you do hear a lot of people saying Halloween, the remake of Rob Zombie's Halloween, is one of their favorite movies.
A lot of people like it.
And I still don't have the feel for why. I think it might be an age thing.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those people actually saw the first one.
Right.
Because if you were coming at it fresh,
I still wouldn't like it.
You know what? You don't know, though, because you'd have a whole different take. You have an emotional connection with the
Those
first
are
one.
they're definitely dated though. Like if you were to watch it for the first time now, you'd think that the quality's not so
Halloween?
great. Yeah,
I think that's only because people are
So low.
desensitized, though.
Because it's too
well,
slow.
yeah, but I mean, it was a super low budget film, and I think you probably need to keep that in mind if you're
But
going into
rewatching it, though,
time.
that holds up well, though, compared to the other Nightmares and Fridays. I think it holds up.
I think as a movie, it holds up. Listen, John Carpenter up until probably 87 is one of my favorite directors. I mean, if you think about the run he had with Escape from New York, but also Assault on Precinct 13, which is an amazing movie.
Great movie.
Halloween.
They Live. Big Trouble in Little China. Fantastic movie.
I mean, The Thing, which was an amazing movie.
Are they still going to remake Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
I'm so excited.
Doing it.
So excited.
I'm about it.
John Carpenter, not John Carpenter, but Kurt Russell just came out and was like, good luck. Good luck with that.
Rock's on screen, I'm happy.
You know what?
He's good in everything, yeah.
I'll watch The Tooth Fairy. Is that him?
Yeah, you would not watch that.
I don't care. It's The Rock.
Really?
Was that him or was that Vin Diesel?
Might have been Vin Diesel.
What, the Tooth
No,
Fairy?
he was the pacifier.
Pacifier. There you
He
go.
was the pacifier.
Right.
And
that's a horror movie.
The name.
Yeah.
Okay, we've gone horribly off track. Okay, so let's move on to let's just skip Devil's Reject because I think it's his best movie.
We'll do House and the Devil.
Okay, so his first movie. It's funny because when I was watching it, I watched it again recently when I knew we'd be doing this. And the thing that struck me is that it felt like one of those Universal Studios haunted houses.
Yes.
And then they turned it into that.
I love that about that, though.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't mean that as a bad thing. I enjoyed that part of it up until I wasn't crazy about the, what do you call it? Captain Psycho, or what was the...
Dr. Satan?
Yeah, Dr. Satan. It kind of lost me there. I thought the beginning part, Sid Haig, was awesome. Bill Moseley, the whole turning Rainn Wilson into the fish. I thought there was stuff in there. And
when they get to the well.
Yeah. And there was a moment in that movie, and then I will stop talking. There's a moment in the movie that's actually my favorite from all of his movies. There's a moment when, I think it's Walter Higgins. What's his name? The guy who was on Sons of Anarchy and the Shield. Not the Shield, Justified.
Oh, the slow motion kill scene?
My favorite. Because the father...
The
father comes down and he opens up the shed and sees all the cheerleaders, including his daughter, and he's seeing sort of... And then...
That scene explains Rob Zombie in a nutshell. The shed. The shed is Rob Zombie. That's opening up Rob Zombie's mind right there.
That was my...
That's it, though, right?
That moment, and then when... he goes. The sheriff drops to his knees, and then they have that long shot. Yeah. And my favorite moment of all of his movies is it was playing this awesome song, which I don't know, and then the sound stops,
The pause.
and there's a beat, and then it's just the shot.
Yep.
I thought that was beautifully made.
That's a great shoot. He's
That
great
scene,
at shooting. Yeah.
that scene is in like all the trailers.
It's amazing. And,
Yeah.
And when I think about Rob Zombie, I think about that, and then I think about how off a lot of the other stuff is. And you're like, oh, dude, why can't you just... Like, there were moments in Lords of Salem that I was like, wow, that's a really cool moment. Have more of those. Like, put a thing together of those moments, you know? But, yeah, I thought that House of a Thousand Corpses was fun for about the first 45 minutes to an hour, and then it kind of lost me. But
For me, the first 20 minutes is a great movie. The first 20 minutes I love. When they go into there and they're talking to him, and the way Sid Haig and the other guys, the way Sid Haig and the other guy, is that for a cold sore or for herpes? So, but the way Sid Haig, that whole dialogue, even the part when they're robbing the place was just the great mix of craziness and humor.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious. And like when he recognizes the other, who's the guy, the sidekick of Sid Haig, the little guy.
oh, geez,
What the hell is his name? Because he's in everything too, right? I gotta find his name, but he was hilarious. Like, hey, it's you. It's like
Warwick Davis.
was that who?
No.
Warwick Davis. Not that little. But that first 20 minutes was awesome. I love the first. I mean, that made me fall in love with Sid Haig. Like that's an iconic character.
It's
like,
funny because
he's
only really made one other movie since that I think anyone's seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in some B-rated movies. Well, that's pretty much all he's done. But
And then we got Fat Hardwick.
yeah,
Yes.
Chad Hardwick, is that what he calls himself? Back when he was an alcoholic.
Aww.
And he said it. Not
It's
me.
funny because he was drunk.
Yeah.
What did you think, Senor?
I think that's my favorite movie out of all the ones he's done. I really like the visuals of that movie, and just like you said, it's just like a haunted house, and I don't know. I think that one's like it's so fake that makes it fun, but it's like if Texas Chainsaw Massacre had a big budget,
Right.
like they would have done something like that.
I think you just what you said actually made it for me. It's so fake, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Where the other movies doesn't have that crest. Like it's fake, but not that fun part. Like it doesn't seem real to the characters. Don't feel real. But this was they were supposed to be way over the top.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's indicative of like everything he's done, because like we've said, everything he does is like to the extreme. But
Right, but there's this I feel like it doesn't go over that hill though. Like of some of the other characters, like they're just not fun. But those were like they were so crazy, they were fun. But when they do did they do like when they get into the house and they're doing like dinner time and all of a sudden it's like, hey, it's playtime, and they're doing like plays and they're all like,
Yeah,
they're just
that's
like
when-
watching, going like, what the fuck are we watching?
And then they're-
Sure, need zombies doing the dance, and then the girlfriends.
they all have that was awesome because it was just so like, what the hell is this?
and then to top it all off, Tiny comes in and eats his chow chow in front of everybody.
I know.
Tiny.
He was actually, if I had a chance, the same. I met him.
See, that was a good line you just had.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
You got a good
Laughs from
I'm
every, the dogs are barking and shit. Everybody's happy.
Super funny.
I really actually enjoyed meeting that guy.
Yeah.
He was.
Tiny. Well, that's his name in the movie, right? I don't remember.
Yeah.
He
His
had-
name wasn't Tiny.
I think they called him Tiny, didn't they?
I don't think that was his actual name.
I think it was a nickname.
Because I think it was ironic.
Tiny.
obviously.
Matthew McGrory.
Yes.
McGrory?
Yeah, he
Very
got-
nice guy. He passed away
Yeah, he
a couple
did.
years back. But he was fragile. He could barely walk around when I met him. And that was
I think everything was arthritic, right?
17. Yeah. I mean, he was a giant man.
He was the guy from Big Fish.
Yeah.
He was the giant Big Fish.
And
I just
he-
knew that off the top of my head.
he was really great in that. And it's funny because actually I liked the switch to it being less over the top in Devil's Rejects. But I enjoyed House of a Thousand Corpses for what it was.
Well, we all watched it recently
Yes.
together.
And then what was the psychedelic, like the weird like imagery between cuts and stuff. Remember that?
I
What the
don't know
hell
what
that?
he was. I don't know what he was going with.
That
for
was like, hey, I'm new to this. Let's throw this in here.
I think that's like stuff that he used to do in his music videos.
Yeah.
That actually, Lords of Salem felt a lot like
That's
like
what-
his stage show. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I saw
And
a stage
just
show.
lots of imagery. flashing on the screen and old movies and but there's a lot, that's just his sensibility. I mean, the thing is ultimately is whether you like Rob Zombie or not, you know what you're getting when you go see his movie, and his new movie, for me anyway, looks fantastic.
31?
I'm totally gonna see that
Because it looks great, and
premise is cool.
yeah, and Meg Foster is in it again, less naked, I hope. And the dude who plays the other DJ is in it. His name I don't know. The one who looks exactly the same. He's still got the huge beard.
He looks kind of like Martin Starr.
See, he reminded me actually of a like sort of the version of Bill Moseley, except like 20 something.
Yeah,
Like they were like,
I can see that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like, he was a very calm character in this, and I think if Mosley was in that, it would have had to be something wild.
Well, he has a definite energy, but he's a really wonderful actor, man. He's
Who
one
is
of the Bill Moseley.
Oh, Moseley,
He's
yes.
one of those actors.
He's
and,
charismatic.
He's awesome. I can't go on enough about how talented he is. And there was a movie he did actually, Adam Wingard, one of his first movies. I'm trying to remember the name of it. My damn aged mind. Fuck. If anyone's listening to this, if they look it up, look Adam Wingard. It's one of his early movies. It's Tiffany Shepis and Bill Moseley. But he's just so good in everything. And he just, he's making these movies that are made for like $150 that are, go right to Cinemax.
He's
the movie you're talking
he's
about?
definitely under the radar.
Under Adam Wingard.
Yeah, got it. Director or actor?
Adam Wingard?
No, I mean, are you talking about a movie he directed or
Yeah, he
acted?
directed.
I saw the Guest, VHS, ABC's of Death. What fun we're having.
It's really early
You're
on.
Next, autoerotic.
Totally worth the wait.
Horrible way to die.
You're Next.
Pop skull.
Your Next was
Homesick.
a fun one.
Homesick. Thank you.
Homesick.
Homesick. That was totally worth it. So, yeah, he's great. Should we segue to...
Well, I got one question about that House of
Yeah, I'm
Thousand
sorry.
Corpses.
That time is over.
It's too bad.
Well,
Dr. Satan. We didn't talk enough about Dr. Satan.
We talked plenty about
No.
Dr. Satan. That
Do you
was fucking
think
ridiculous.
he regrets putting that in there?
No.
You don't think he does?
No, he made $1 bazillion from
No.
Universal.
I mean, do you think after seeing the movie, because like I said, the tone of the movie was good. It should have focused on the family. It goes to Dr. Satan. And
Yeah,
it
that
just
third
gets
act is just
strange.
bonkers. Yeah.
Do you think, like looking back, after doing and segue into Devil's Rejects, that he wishes he didn't have the Dr. Satan part?
No.
Because he does nothing with Dr. Satan in the next one.
His movie made $1 gazillion.
No. But you're not getting my point.
Are you
here.
talking about as a filmmaker?
As a filmmaker, as
an artist.
He's like, okay, after,
Artiste.
but after saying Devil's Rejects,
Yeah.
House of Thousand Corpse, great segue up to Dr. Satan. Then it goes into Devil's Rejects, which they never talk about Dr. Satan
I
again.
don't know.
I mean, doesn't it feel like making that movie? It's almost like I wish I didn't put Dr. Satan in there.
I don't know. I think that he, if he's looking back now, if he hadn't had it, it would have been Devil's Rejects. So,
But that's what it should have been. I mean, it was about the family, right?
Yeah.
And Dr. Satan.
yeah,
Was he a family member?
No, but you know
Was
what?
Uncle
A lot
Satan?
of people like Dr. Satan.
Who?
I have talked to people who like Dr.
Owl.
Satan.
That's a good
No.
name.
I've talked to a lot of people who like Dr. Satan. They like because
The
there's
idea is great, but that could have been its own movie.
there's a whimsy to it.
Well, it could have been its own movie. It just doesn't feel connected.
I almost feel like that part could have been a hallucination from like.
A death rattle.
Was there also a part, if I remember, because we watched it a while ago, was there a part where they're dressed up as rabbits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go and...
Yeah, and then it's
Go get her.
it's rabbit season.
Yeah. All right.
Hunting
Just making sure I
rabbits.
wasn't
It was
listening.
just It was just a goofy movie.
There was one really good scene where it was that narrow hallway of skeletons,
Yeah.
and you thought for sure something was going to jump out.
Like a haunted house.
How do you like Chop Chop in the movie?
Who?
Chop Chop. from
Oh.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah, yeah.
What's his name?
It's Bill Moseley.
That's Mosley, yeah. How do you like by him?
In that movie, I thought he was fine.
I like him. He's over the top, but I like that. Like
I thought he was fine.
The speeches he goes into are pretty
I
funny.
thought that the script was better in Devil's Rejects,
Yes.
so it gave him some really awesome speeches. The speech when he kills the musicians, when he takes them out to the field, and he has, the last thing out of your mouth better be some Mark Twain shit or whatever he says. I thought that
Definitely believable.
I like to think he makes up a lot of his lines.
That's what I think, right? That's what I was getting at. Like, I
I'd be
could see him
curious.
just like,
I'd be curious.
go riff.
Though I have to say, his,
Because his dialogue's better than what everybody else's dialogue is.
well,
can't really
I
argue
mean,
with
in
it, but-
those two movies anyway, the dialogue is really self-conscious in terms of being clever.
Right.
Some sort of weird Tarantino-esque sort of, I'm going to put a bunch of in references in there, which thankfully is not the case. The more I actually like Lords of Salem, the more I think about it, I just wish that she had they had picked somebody else to be in it.
I think maybe you're blinded by the fact that she was a white girl with dreadlocks.
Maybe.
Throw
You
you
know
off.
what I kept thinking of is
Right.
Ross Trent. That's what I kept thinking of when I saw her.
Bubba Quat, yeah.
Yeah. So
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects, man. I have real mixed feelings about it because
So rapey.
it's very rapey.
Not a good
William,
use of verb.
but the performances in that movie of Bill Moseley
Yeah.
and William Forsythe
Yeah.
and Leslie Easterbrook from Police Academy, because Karen Black, who was the mother in the first one, died after that one.
Oh, yeah.
I believe she did. Either that or I just said she was dead. I don't know. It could be either. But Leslie Easterbrook from Police Academy took over that role and was fucking killed it. I mean, she was so
She wasn't in
good.
it long, though, right?
What do you say?
She wasn't in it very long, though, right?
Oh no, she was in the whole movie. There's that scene at the end.
She was the mom, right?
Yeah, she played Mama Firefly. And there's that great scene basically where William Forsythe brutalizes her, and she's just got this, this
That's
scene.
right. He has her taped to the chair,
Yeah,
right?
and
Okay,
basically
yeah,
he
yeah.
rapes her, but he stabs her.
Right.
So he has her against. It's just there's scenes like that, or there's scenes like when he has them in the thing and he's stapling the pictures to them. There's the scene in the hotel with Brian Posehn.
With the gun.
Yeah, there are just
Putting it in her
scenes.
panties.
Yeah, I mean, or when he makes and there's a straight rip off from Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the face, putting the face on her, and then she runs out into the road. Yeah,
That was awesome. I like that.
That was a pretty good scene.
I was a fan of parts.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of parts, and then there's scenes that are supposed to be comic relief that just murder the movie.
Yes.
Totally just, in my opinion, just slam it down to the ground and kill the momentum. But they're, for the most part, the performances, and I thought that the filmmaking was really strong.
Music choice was awesome in the movie.
Music choice, the opening song, the Leonard Skinner.
At the end.
Yeah,
Freebird.
yeah.
Can never go wrong with Freebird.
No,
That was before everybody started to hate it, I think.
Yeah.
So, horror movie, yes or no?
Devil's Rejects?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's murdery enough to be horror.
I think so.
I think so too. I think when you make people wear other people's faces, I
Yeah.
think it goes into horror.
There's that, yeah.
It just seems that the whole focus is, and I almost felt like, in a way, especially at the end, he tries to get you to really go for them. Like it's almost like you're rooting for them to win.
Absolutely.
You're rooting for,
Yeah.
and it turns the table who is really the bad guy. And it was like, I could go with that if it wasn't for how much they did on the other end. If they went hardcore, they're batshit crazy at the beginning.
Yeah.
To also we're supposed to feel sorry for them. It's like it's a big.
Oh no, I think in the movie's POV that William Forsythe's the villain.
Right, which is fine because he's crazy too. But you know what I'm saying? They went almost too over the top with how Sherry Moon Frye, how her character is, how Bill Moseley's character is, because there is nothing. They went
Did you
hardcore.
just call her Sherry Moon Fry?
Moon
I
Frye.
think she did. I think
Moon Frye?
Salil Moon Fry?
So I thought she
Punky
was
Brewster?
awesome.
She's Punky Brewster.
She was actually.
When she got trapped in the fridge?
I would have preferred.
That's why she's crazy. She got lack of oxygen in the
I would have
fridge.
preferred to have Soleil Fry in that movie.
Oh.
But no, what? She went to Juilliard.
One of the weird things about that movie
Cookie
was
school?
that
No.
it was
That's
it was like a horror. It was like a horror movie that took place during the daytime,
Yeah.
and that's not very normal.
No.
Actually, that's one of the things I really liked about Halloween. To go back to Halloween, in the original, is
Backgrounds.
that you see, it's all almost entirely in the daytime until it's night.
Until it's not.
The best scene, the most iconic shot in the whole movie. Walking down the sidewalk,
Him
and there he is
masturbating.
way in the back. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Yeah, well, that's why he likes William Shatner. Right?
He's just the show. Any other thoughts about Devil's Rejects?
It was fun seeing Posehn with a very small role.
It was fun seeing Posehn.
Yes.
They got killed very well in the end.
There was
did.
some other weird cameos in that movie too. We had Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about
Who was his partner? That was Danny Trejo, right? Was it Trejo his partner?
I think Trejo came back.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, he wasn't
He
in.
come back.
No. Well, I was thinking that he was
He
in.
came back
Rejects,
after
yeah.
being murdered in the future.
Does he die in Rejects? I don't remember.
No.
It's been too long since.
Yeah, Trejo, Danny Trejo, Dallas
Yeah.
Diamond Page, Brian
E.G.
Posehn.
E.G. Marshall, chick from played one of the whores.
Yeah. There's
He was
that's the
big
thing I like. That's one thing I do like about him. Is that's the who of
And he makes interesting one. Like Mig Foster, he brings people who are really good actors. It's not like like the mom from Partridge Family's in it, and it's not like some stunt casting. It is stunt casting,
It is because it's from his favorite movies.
but it's
right?
cool. It's
Right.
cool stuff.
That's got to be a good feeling to be able to pull these people from like things that you grew up with.
PJ
Yeah.
Souls,
Yeah.
Carrie.
Well, there's the dude from Welcome Back, Carter,
Yeah.
who is in 31.
Yep.
You guys are way older than I am.
He's
I don't even
Shut
know.
the fuck up, man. You're old enough to remember Welcome Back, Carter.
I don't
Shut
remember
the fuck
that
up.
at all.
You have a Gabe Kaplan poster at home. I know you do.
plus Kane Hodder. He was in it.
Yeah.
Officer with the gas mask. We never know.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up.
But
for-
overall, we got to do overall
Oh, you want to do an overall?
thoughts. What do you think, Rob Zombie?
I think, like I said, Corpse is my favorite, and I think they kind of go as my favorite in the order that he's made them, that being my favorite to the least favorite. But with that being said, I'm still going to see everything he puts out just because, they're still fun watches.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think his movies are uneven, but I think that the parts are good or really good, so it's worth seeing. I don't know if I would like go see Lords of Salem on IMAX, pay $15 to see it.
No.
But I will see it pretty much anything he makes. And 31, I think it's really promising.
I
Is
agree.
the trailer out for you?
No.
No. So my thoughts, like I said, House of Thousand Corpse, probably first 20, 30 minutes, love the movie. Love the shot of the sheriff getting killed. And it kind of goes downhill from there. Enjoyed Double Rejects, and then Halloween, not on board, and then it went Halloween 2, and the horse and the wife lost it. And because of that, and I saw the trailer for Lord of Salem, and I saw the imagery, and I thought, it's going to be Halloween 2 all over again. It's just going to be that
Just slower.
trippy, not knowing what the hell is going on. Why is he showing us this kind of stuff? I lost it. The 31, I've read a lot about, and I'm really interested in it. It's almost like the Running Man with clowns, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about his work, though, is that you aren't a huge fan. You still have been reading up on his new movies.
Yes. Well,
Where it's not like, I don't know how much time you put into like M. Night Shyamalan or other people whose work you may not enjoy.
I enjoy M. Night Shyamalan quite a bit.
That's horrible. All right, you need to reconsider that immediately.
Unbreakable is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, but that was like 37 years ago.
That's fine.
He's made like 37 bad movies.
The
since
Devil
then.
was good.
He didn't direct that though.
No, but he still wrote it.
Yeah.
Was that the elevator?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that one a lot.
For a movie shot in an elevator, that's about as good as it
Did
gets.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually my second favorite movie shot in an elevator.
That's his
No.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his 12 Angry Men.
To me, I think you hit it on his head. Is Rob Zombie kind of lives as his own world, where I think a lot of the stuff that he puts on film is kind of his world.
Yeah.
Like the way people talk and the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I do respect him though, because he is a huge horror fan and he's doing what he loves and he wants to put. He's paying tribute, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So I respect him for that. And I did see Rob White Zombie when they first were starting to get big.
He is awesome live.
Awesome live because the stage was amazing. Screen in the back showing old black and white horror movies.
Yeah.
They put on a hell of a show. And that's when I heard he was being a director. I was super excited. So, I'll definitely go see anything he puts out. Lord of Salem being that was
Here
a little
with
too
the
much for me.
exception.
That was it. But I'm really excited about 31.
Well, thank you everybody who took the time to listen to the podcast today. Once again, this is Thorne,
Kagan.
Matt.
and we are Fountain of Horror. This is the Director's Podcast, and listen up for the next show. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.